Blast me to Bermuda! It's time for the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey, Episode 3, Part 1, Lore and Building. Hello and welcome back to Mad Merlin's Imperium Journey. Today we're going to go through Issue 3, we're going to go through our new lore, and then we're going to build our Assault Intercessors. But first off, let's take a look at our new models. So first and foremost, we get 3 32mm bases for our models. Oops, butterfingers. And then we get a single frame consisting of 3 miniatures. So we have 3 backpacks, 3 heads, 3 torsos and 3 pairs of arms. Some models have separate assemblies for the legs, and each one has a rather unique pose. As you can see on the arms, they are already pre-molded with the Assault Intercessor symbol for close support and the Ultramarine U. There we go. And onto our magazine. So, with issue 3, we get 3 miniatures and a paint, which is Macragge Blue. We discover Assault Intercessors, we learn to paint our Ultramarines, and we learn to fight in close combat. So, contents of the issue, we have our troops, Troops page 1, Assault Intercessors. We have the Dark Imperium, the Tomb Worlds of the Necrons, and the story for Assault on Drakthir. We then learn to build and paint our Assault Intercessors, and then we have a little playthrough. So first, our page for the Assault Intercessors, which are frontline shock troops. Assault Intercessors are close support infantry who specialise in hand-to-hand combat. They fire heavy bolt pistols as they advance upon their foes. Once they have closed upon their enemies, they cut them to pieces with brutal strikes on their deadly chainswords. We go into a little bit more information about the Assault Intercessors war gear, the Astartes chainsword, heavy bolt pistol, and the frag grenade. It also shows a picture about Mark X Tacticus armor, the latest innovation in power armor. And as I mentioned on the frame overview, they have the Ultramarine U chapter symbol and the close support cross. This squad only numbers 3 models. That is because it has suffered 2 casualties, one of which is the squad sergeant. Which, when I come to painting, I'm going to be marking these guys up as a unit of veterans. I'm going to give them white shoulder pad trims, as I already have a set with red. So I'll play a first few games with them using the ones I painted as red, but later on they'll be replaced with the ones with white trim. So I've already named my squad. We have Squad Decius. They are the Iraxian Spearhead. And surviving members are Brother Nero, who is a melee duelist, Brother Xavian, who is a zealous warrior, and Brother Ventress, who is a brutal brawler. I got to work out an oath for vengeance for him, and then I'll start recording some battles once I get them on the table. So our first bit of new lore is all about the Dark Imperium. So in the last days of the 41st millennium, mankind finds itself consumed by endless wars. This is an age in which history, reason, and hope have been ground away by conflict and suffering. Enlightenment has been replaced with superstition, zealous faith, and desperate prayer. Humanity stands on the brink of extinction. Now we'll go into a little bit explaining what's happened to mankind in the last few years of the 41st millennium, about the encroaching threat of the warp, as well as the countless alien hostiles. Lovely picture here of a Blood Angel procession with a chaplain overseeing a fallen warrior. And on the back we have a breakdown of the map of the galaxy. So, as we know, the Imperium has been split in two by the Cicatrix Maledictum, and to the galactic north, the Imperium Nihilus, which is cut off from the Astronomicon and most Imperial reinforcements, including the poor Blood Angels, who have been cut off on their homeworld of Baal. Terra and Mars at the centre of Segmentum Solar in the Imperium Sanctus. The Pariah Nexus, where most of our battles are going to be focusing around. And the realm of Ultramar, where the Ultramarines are from. So Guilliman's crusade is spreading out. We're trying to branch northwards to try and reclaim lost worlds. We have information about the Necron Tomb Worlds as our second piece of lore. So, far beneath the surface of many planets, networks of ancient catacombs and obsidian tombs lie silent. Their stasis crypts filled with slumbering Necron legions. These tomb worlds exist across the galaxy, often beneath the feet of unsuspecting humans who remain blissfully unaware of the threat below. And as you can see, a nice picture here in the background of a Necron legion marching forth with its canoptic constructs. Royal Warden at the front, leading phalanxes upon phalanxes of Necron warriors. Go into a little bit more detail about the Necrons and how they sleep, how the canoptic creatures overwatch them while they sleep. Then we have a little bit of information detailing about the Great Sleep, where the last great Necron overlord, Lord Zarak, sent all the legions to sleep to keep them from being destroyed. Details a little bit about the effects of entropy. Not everyone's going to survive being shut in their bedroom for millions and millions of years. You might go a little bit cuckoo. And of course, you got the caretakers, which is the canoptic constructs. And we have the Assault on Drakfir, which is a short story featuring a squad of Ultramarines as they start to make a fight against the Necrons on the world of Drakfir. The squad's aided by a Primus Lieutenant, and as we read through the story we find out the squad takes some serious casualties. It's quite a nice short read, and I really do like how they've done this now for the magazine's breakdown. Little stories is a great way to get people interested more in the lore and get into buying full Black Library books and learning to read more and more about the Imperium and even the other Xenos races around the galaxy. Right, that's our lore. I'll just grab my tools and we'll begin with the building. Okie dokie, here we go. So, for this video, we're just going to build the first Primus Assault Intercessor here, which is parts numbered 1 through to 6. So, remove the cap from our pinchers. And we'll look on the sprue for part 1, which is just here, his head. So, take hold of the head between your thumb and finger, and carefully snip away so it doesn't fly off. Next we need parts 2 and 3. So part 2 is just there, his main torso. So we want to cut away at the delicate pegs first and underneath the pistol arm. Holding onto it, one final click. There we go. And then we need part 3, which is the back torso, which is just down here. So if we cut there first, cut underneath the holster, which we can hold as we cut the last 2 tabs. Okay. Next, we can start cleaning up our model. So if we get in close here, we can see right around the helmet rim, there's a nice line where from the molding process, we just drag our tool along that, removing it till the surface is nice and smooth. And also we'll clip off, scrape away where he was clipped from the frame, just to make sure the parts are flush. We then clean up the rest of our models, looking closely to make sure there's no mold lines. And there doesn't seem to be too many on this. So we can just go ahead and remove any remaining bits of sprue tab. And finally, the main torso. There's quite a few mold lines down along the arm there, on the underside, and down the back of the leg. So let's carefully move those away. There we have it. So now we take part one, and if we look closely, there is a slight angle to the notch there, to the peg even, which will sit into the angled notch on the front torso. So that we have it so that he is looking down his gun. Then, like this, we can push the two pegs in the back torso into the two holes on the front torso, sandwiching the head between them. Next we need parts 4 and 5, which is his right leg and left arm. Part 5 is right there in the middle. Helps remove the safety cap. And we need part 4, which again, right next to part 5 in the middle there. And while we're at it, we'll get to the next stage, which is part 6, the middle backpack. And like before, we can just quickly clean up any mold lines and sprue tabs. And finally, so take part 4, line up the hole with the peg on the back of the knee and gently push in. We slide the peg on the left shoulder into the left arm like so, and finally we push the backpack onto the back. Then we can just stand him on his base, so take the large peg on the bottom of his foot and just push it into the hole, and there we have an assault intercessor all built. I'll build the other two quickly, and then we can have a quick gallery of all 3 built before we finish the video. Here we have our finished models all built and ready for some painting. As we can see, we get 3 wonderful models here, perfect representing a reduced strength squad of assault intercessors on the tabletop. So that's all for episode 3 of the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Please follow me on all my social medias, use my affiliate link, and if you want to help the channel, please do buy me a coffee. And I'll see you next time for more mad content where we'll be painting our models and having our next playthrough. Goodbye.